wondering if it really is. So I wonder, how do we define that? Like today, if people are saying the church is under persecution in the United States, how would we address that? If somebody came to you and said, I think we're under persecution, what would be the standards you would say, well, you would only be under persecution if blank is happening? What would you say to fill in the blank?
Wow, that's a great question, because you do hear that phrase quite a bit. And I think one thing, and this would not be the sole thing, but I think one thing you would do is put whatever is being held up as persecution over against a recognized standard of persecution. And you think about, say, the way the church is being persecuted right now in Nigeria. I don't know if you've been seeing the news over the last few days and weeks. Unbelievable persecution in Nigeria, getting absolutely no attention on the world stage, getting absolutely no attention from world media. And we're talking beheadings, we're talking kidnappings, we're talking tortures. It's unfathomable human suffering simply because of what these people believe and the God that they worship. Now, to whatever extent anybody's even aware that that's going on, most people would look at that and say, that's persecution. So one way to look at persecution in any other situation is to put it against a standard like that and say, okay, does this seem to fit in the same category? Right? And to take a deliberately trivial example, the child who says, you're making me eat my green vegetables, you're persecuting me. That is clearly not in the same category. So I think you have to look at something like that, because here's the other thing. If what you're considering persecution is simply just you having a hard time and everybody else is having a hard time too, that really does dishonor to people that are suffering genuine persecution somewhere else.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think that it's something concerning. But at the same time, there's also the question out there of, like you mentioned about the other countries, and they're going through horrific persecution. How did it start? When did it start? And there's a lot of fear that people are talking about now, saying this is the beginning, though. It may not be bad, but this is just the start, and this is where it's going to head if we allow this to go on. I think we're at definitely a thought-provoking time in the church world, and the only thing I can say personally is everyone pretty much just has to decide where they're at with this, because I don't think we're ever going to get a bold announcement that's going to say, yes, you are under persecution.
Well, no one, even a tyrant, isn't going to couch it in that language. But you are exactly right, and this is what I think so many people are sensing and having concerns about. Are there little things that in and of themselves are not persecution, right, are not oppression, but are simply the first step that lead down a road that very likely could end in persecution? And that's, again, an example where being aware of what happens in other places in the world, being aware of what has happened through history, is so vitally important. This is not we're in an age where we have the world and all of its history in our pockets, right? You and I have more access, or easier access, to knowledge in our pockets with our smartphones than the entire Great Library at Alexandria had. Right? Then all the libraries of Cambridge and Oxford and Harvard and MIT have combined. We've got all that in our pockets right now. So there's no reason not to know. There's no reason not to know what's happened through history and in other places in the world. And if you can say, hey, you know what, we're maybe only on step 3 or step 7. But I know enough of history, and I've seen this happen in other places, and I know where what's going to happen when we get to step 99.
Right, and going along with the theme of what we've been discussing all night here is the idea of the power that God has. Even if we do notice persecution, even if we think we're under it, even if we think it's starting, that does not take away the power that God has. And sometimes we see his power through thunder and lightning, and here is angelic forces with thunder and lightning. Angelic Forces once again with Thunder and Lightning. Tremendous band, Angelic Forces, and we want to thank them for allowing us to feature them as our band this week. Tremendous band that we stumbled onto, and just tremendous musicianship.
Oh, absolutely. And like I say, we're going to have an episode coming out on Classic Christian Rock podcast with Maurice Kieschman, who's a guitarist for Angelic Forces. He's also got another band going called Stellar Master. They just released a track here recently that was just absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, a lot of great things from those guys, and I can't wait to delve into that on that other show.
And you can find them on YouTube, folks. Just search Angelic Forces. It should come right up, and you can see their YouTube channel, and you go to directly to their website and just see everything that they offer. So, Steve, and it's almost done. Another Metal Talk Live episode is almost in the books. How does that make you feel?
Well, how does it make me feel? It doesn't really make me feel angelic, because I feel like that'd just be, bragging or something. I definitely don't feel as if we're going to fade away at any point. The show seems to be strong. I guess what it makes me feel is like on a warm summer night when there's just that thunder and lightning in the sky, as the Germans would say, Sturm und Drang. That's how it makes me feel.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Segway strikes again. Did you get that, Steve? Did you catch that? Thunder and lightning.
I did.
Yeah. You did that.
And you know what? Here I am to save the day.
Yes. Wildman and Steve are here, so never fear. Yep. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
And you can find out more about us at wildmanandsteve.com. And if you enjoyed the show, give us a review at ratethispodcast.com/metaltalk.